All right, welcome back to the channel. So, man, Canelo Alvarez is getting offered a ton of money to fight Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez in a 2-fight deal. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, it is good to be Canelo Alvarez. We're going to talk about what his next fight may be. Breaking news, big news is that there has been a huge offer placed for Canelo Alvarez, an increased offer from the PBC to get him to fight Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez. Before I get into that, though, let's ask you first, if you're not subscribed, and thank you to everybody that comes and supports the channel if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and select all notifications so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also support the channel with our betting partner, BUSR, at busr.ag/Fanon. There's a lot of promotions over there and values that you can get for your wagering dollar. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. All right, man. So $100 million offered to Canelo Alvarez, guaranteed for a 2-fight deal to fight Jermall Charlo and then fight David Benavidez at 168 pounds. That, my friends, is a gigantic offer and bigger than the offer by $20 million. Then he was offered to fight Demetrius Bivol and Gennady Golovkin by DAZN. So no wonder Canelo Alvarez does not immediately announce who he's going to fight, because the bidding war going on for him is absolutely gigantic. And I'm telling you right now, man, for $100 million, there is no reason in the world for him not to take that Jermall Charlo fight and the David Benavidez fight, because that right there on a pay-per-view with an upside of a pay-per-view, come on, man. That is a better situation for boxing fans than him fighting Demetrius Bivol, somebody that people are not concerned about. He's not I don't believe, the best guy at 175 pounds, or to go down there and fight a guy in Gennady Golovkin that he has already fought and already beaten. So I, at this point in time, would be very surprised if he did not take the fight with Jermall Charlo and David Benavidez for that amount of money. However, it also wouldn't be surprised for me if he held out and tried to get DAZN to offer him even more money. But right there, it will tell you, and this is what I'll tell you. I had originally heard that he got a $50 million offer for Jermall Charlo for a 1-fight deal. DAZN and these guys, or ESPN, came out and said it was a $45 million deal, but then he was close to accepting a deal with the $80 million 2-fight deal with that DAZN had offered him. Please do not talk to me anymore about one person's source being any better than somebody else's source and waiting around for these guys like Mike Coppinger to tell you what the truth is in boxing, because I'm telling you, they ain't any closer to the nose, to nailing on the nose, than anybody else. They can make a call to somebody in somebody's camp, or know somebody that works for an organization, or is familiar with a fighter and hearing things out there on the street. These numbers and these offers have been very, very consistent from pretty much any and every source that has been doing videos about them. And right there with like Mike Coppinger, when Mike Coppinger has actually made fun of somebody by saying, yeah, that the fight was out, that Jermall Charlo was out of the running for the fight when the negotiations ended a week ago. Well, if Jermall Charlo was out of the race a week ago when their negotiations stopped, then how come now Dan Rayfield is saying that they had an increased offer for $100 million? I've been saying that this is a scenario, and this is exactly what happened in the last negotiation when DAZN was trying to outbid, and Matchroom was trying to outbid the PBC for a Canelo Alvarez fight. They kept saying that the fight with with Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant was dead in the water. It wasn't going to happen because they fell out over one issue or another, and he was going to be taking pretty much the same thing that they're saying now, which is a 2-fight deal, which would include Gennady Golovkin. So if Canelo Alvarez turned down the fight with Gennady Golovkin, a 2-fight deal for Canelo Alvarez, they included Gennady Golovkin last time for a guaranteed 1-fight deal for David Benavidez, and the same people are reporting the same thing both times, saying no, that the fight is over with. They're not going to take the PBC fight, but then they turn around at the end and take the PBC fight. I don't understand why people would have a issue or wonder why, or doubt that it's very possible Canelo Alvarez may wind up with the Jermall Charlo fight and the David Benavidez fight. Now, the interesting thing that I find is that now it is a 2-fight deal, which brings about even more hypocrisy from the last negotiation that took place, where the DAZN was saying that, or Eddie Hearn and Matchroom were saying, well, Canelo's not going to take the fight with they would be dumb to take the fight with Caleb Plant because they're asking for a 2-fight deal with Caleb Plant. And if you are a free agent, why would you sign a 2-fight deal? But in the next fight, where they try to get him for the next fight, they turn around and offer the man a 2-fight deal. So, to me, the whole conversation about this is obviously, a wait and see type of thing. But if I'm leaning towards it, I'm thinking that, if I had to take my safest bet on it, I would say that he's going to wind up going with the fight with the PBC. Number one, if they can both offer the same guaranteed money, right? But what is the money beyond that? The money beyond that is the pay-per-view, right? So if DAZN is asking for offering pay-per-view and a pay-per-view upside on it, who's the pay-per-view against? The pay-per-view is going to be against Bivol, and the pay-per-view is going to be against Gennady Golovkin. Those are not big pay-per-view fights anymore. Gennady Golovkin already happened, and nobody knows Bivol. And on top of that, DAZN itself is not somebody that has a track record of putting on pay-per-view fights. The PBC and Fox or Showtime, whichever they do, is consistently putting on pay-per-view. They already have a lot of people that have recently bought pay-per-views that are signed into that system to buy pay-per-views with them. Just bought a pay-per-view, a lot of pay-per-view buys from Canelo Alvarez, and may feel like, look, if we did 800,000 or whatever the number was versus with David Benavidez, with Caleb Plant, then we're going to do even more with Jermall Charlo. And then if we get past Jermall Charlo, we'll probably even be able to do more against David Benavidez, right? Because that's a Mexican thing, and he would have beaten Charlo and really developed a lot of, momentum. So it seems to me that the upside on the fight, with Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade is probably bigger than the one that they're offering on DAZN. But then again, who knows what he's going to do? I tell you what I think from the way outside looking in, what the best deal is, but I most certainly hope he takes it because, dude, I would love to see those. Most importantly for me, I would love to see those 2 fights in either order that it went, either the Benavidez fight than Charlo or Charlo and Benavidez. I just think that they're better fights, man. They're better fights for boxing fans and more interesting fights for boxing fans. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.